Hello everybody, and this is Eroneos, Jenkins in Minecraft, and I just wanted to show you a couple things that I found are really cool. One of which has to do with hoppers right here, and it's really cool. So I do have to ask, are you ever just tired of having to sit by your furnace and just wait and wait and wait while your iron cooks while you could be out doing something else? Well, here you go. I do have to warn you that this method would mean the sacrifice of any experience that you get. So if you were just smelting iron, you would get experience, but with the method I'm going to show you, you don't get any experience at all. So just a fair warning there. So what we're going to do is we're going to use all these ingredients right here: coal, iron ore, furnace, chest, and hopper. And it's really quite simple to make. So you don't need any redstone for this. It is a little tricky when it comes to putting the hoppers together. So what I suggest is you put out everything first and then add the hoppers later. That way they attach properly. Because if you don't do this right, you'll have to break them off, take everything out of the hoppers, and then attach them properly. Attach them properly again, and it just wastes time. So basically what it is you just put two chests down here, and this is going to be everything that your furnace smelts will go into this chest. So now since we have the chest down, just shift left click so that I'll shift into first or into third here. So you shift so that you're crouching, and then you put the hopper on top. This means that the hopper is attached to the chest, so anything, when we go into the hopper, anything we put in the hopper here, as you can see it's dwindling down, it goes straight into the large chest. So, very useful, I find. Now, next thing you want to do is you want to put the furnace on top of that. Now, the cool thing about the furnace is if you put anything in there, well, we'll do it. Okay, well, we'll wait a minute on this, because anything right here that gets smelted will automatically go into the item hopper, and then will automatically go into the chest so that you can access it later. I do have to say that you cannot hide the chest, so it can't be like this, otherwise you can't access it. You need to be able to be sure that the chest can open and close freely. If it cannot open, then this will not work. So then we're going to put another item hopper right there on the side. Again, make sure you hold down left shift to crouch and then click. Otherwise, you're just going to access the furnace. Alright, and now this one, we're going to put a chest right here. And what this is we're going to put the chest and we're going to put coal in there. So all it's doing is it's draining the coal into here and then putting it in here. So pretty useful. So with the help of flying, we're gonna, well, can't really do it with flying. So I'm gonna just stand right here, hold down shift and hopper, and then we're gonna put the chest right there. Now this may seem ugly, and yeah, it may be, but just put the iron ore in here and you'll notice it's automatically smelting and adding in those. So watch this. Okay, it's done, it disappeared, it's not in here, it's in here. Now, like I did say earlier, if you smelt anything, then if you use this method, you will not get the experience points. So yeah. So, like, if you go out mining in a great mine and you find a lot of resources and you just don't have time to constantly watch your furnace and say, oh, well, there's 64 iron ingots in the furnace and it won't burn anymore, so I gotta take it out and put it in a chest. Well, here you go. You could just set this thing and just leave it to go while you go out and mine. So, it's pretty useful. And we're gonna try the same thing again, but this time, whoops, with a little twist, because I've never actually tried it the way I'm gonna try it now. Also another thing is when you put this in, like a different ore, it'll go into here and it'll wait. And while the ore is smelting, it'll just store it into the item hopper, and it won't actually. It'll wait until this is done smelting the iron ore before it starts smelting the gold ore. So we're gonna try the same thing here. Get rid of this. Okay, there's that. There's that. There's that. So now we're gonna try a little twist that I was wondering if it could work. So we're gonna have one for the coal and one for the iron ore. And whoops, great. So we gotta go in here, take this out, and put it in there. So it looks like it's still emptying out, but okay. Yeah, so it will not work like this. It has to be like this. Otherwise it won't work, and I still attached it properly. So, yeah. And if anyone is wondering, how do you make a hopper? Well, it's quite easy, in fact. And we'll actually use some of the iron that we used here. So, it's pretty easy. All you do, make a chest. Simple enough. I'm going to take some of this iron. Just need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. So, you take your chest, you put it in the very middle. You put 2 on this side like that. 2 on that side, 1 in the middle like that. Voila! You have your hopper. Now, another cool thing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you make a minecart, ta-da! And then you put, whoops, here, we'll use this. Do it like this, minecart with hopper. Now, say you find an abandoned mine, okay, and you go and you just mine all the rails up. You make some powered rail, or you make some powered rails, and you just don't want to have to deal with constantly building. You don't want to have to constantly run all the way back just to get your stuff into a chest. Well, here's a cool thing that I like using now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this here, followed by this, just so that it can get up and down pretty easily. And then we're just gonna turn it on. Alright, so we're just gonna say that let's turn it over here, and we're gonna make it go underneath all this. So the sad thing that I don't really like about this method that I'm going to show you is the fact that just give me a second, and when I get this all built, you'll see exactly what I mean. But let's actually there, and here and down. Whoops, right, I forgot. You can't go down like that, so we gotta I hate doing these. Alright, so sorry about that, but sometimes when it comes to rails with me, it doesn't exactly work the way I want it to. Alright, there we go. There we go. And we're just gonna put this under here, like so. Like so. And it's all working. Okay, good. So here is my method for when you're in a mine somewhere and you hate having to constantly pick up your things and you want to put in a hopper somewhere, which I forgot to put in. So let me put that in real fast. We'll put it in right here. So, and we want a way to access it, so there we go. So we're going to do the same thing, put the chest down, and I find it's easier to put a big chest and put down 2 hoppers. I find it easier, and you'll see why in a second. Now, like I said, in order to attach these to the hopper, you need to put it down by shift left shift right click. That way you set it down. Now, helper. Now, all you see right now is an empty large chest, empty item hopper, and we're going to send this on its way. So all this is going to do is it's going to just go down, and watch. Well, that went down. So we're going to check in here, and would you look at that? 4 iron ingots. So what this is doing is that hopper is taking items out of this chest and putting it in those hoppers, and when it goes across these, it automatically puts them into these hoppers and then puts it into the chest. A little complex, well, maybe, but it's pretty cool. Now, on to the second thing for why I find this is useful. I can't, okay, there we go. Alright, let's spill some items. Okay, so normally when an item is on a minecart, mine track, the minecart bounces off. But as you saw, this one seemed to make it disappear. And where did it go, you may ask? Well, let's look into this hopper, if I can catch it. There it is. So whenever a minecart is on, or whenever an item is on the mine track, when the minecart with the hopper comes along, it will pick it up, and then you will need something like this in order to drop it off. So I find this method right here pretty useful because you can always just expand your rail and then just put these chests right over the rail. That way you can just store stuff in there, and the mine carts will eventually come and empty it and put it in a storage area that you have safe somewhere. So we're gonna put this the right way so that we can get twice the iron building there. So it will have to be like this. Like I said, you do have to make sure that it doesn't, none of the chests are obstructed. Otherwise, it's just not going to work, because you need to have these open so that you can access it and put items in. So, and then I find it's easiest just to let the minecart just bounce off a wall. That way it's automatically going back and forth and picking up any items that may drop. So this is pretty useful in terms of if you want it on up on the ground. You better not explode, creeper. So like I said, this is pretty useful if you want things, if you want this on the surface and not underground, and it'll just pick up whatever might drop on the surface. And the cool thing is, well, the sad thing I find about it is that, we're going to stop it real quick, is that it's only got 5 slots. So if you fill those 5 slots, you can see how slowly it's, emptying into those hoppers. So not very fast. So it's not exactly the best, but it works, and I find it very useful. Great. There we go. Alright, so hopefully this has been a help for you. I know it really helps me in terms of there's less for me to have to worry about or hold on to. I normally just, whenever I pick up stuff, I just throw it onto the track and then just leave it. And I know that the item hopper will come along sometime and just pick it up. So just leave it, and unless it's full, it'll pick it up. So, and you can have multiples at one time. So like 1 or 2 or 3 at the same time. which is pretty useful. So this has been Eroneos Jenkins with Minecraft and how to use hoppers in a new way. Although I do suggest, guys, maybe 2 at most, no more than that. Alright, guys, Eroneos Jenkins, see you later. That is really cool.